The following video contains mention of sensitive subjects, such as war, displacement, and genocide. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, dear viewer. Welcome to a very special community developer interview courtesy of Game Devs of Color Expo. I am the host of this developer interview, the Purple Sharpie, but you can call me Sharpie if you're feeling especially spectacular today. I am here today with the game director of Dreams on a Pillow, Rashid Abouaida. How are you doing today, Rashid?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Can you tell us a little bit about your upcoming project? Just a really quick 1 to 2 sentences about it.
Yeah, it's an emotional experience about the Nakba, which is known as the catastrophe here in Palestine.
I believe we also have a trailer from your current crowdfunding attempt. Let's go ahead and run that.
My name is Rashid Abouaida, an award-winning game designer from Palestine. I've dedicated my life to telling stories because stories foster empathy and understanding, and they shape who we are and how we relate to this world. In my previous game, Liyla and the Shadows of War, I told the story of a young girl that lives in Gaza during the 2014 attacks. The response was overwhelming. People weren't just playing a game, they were experiencing a reality that many people didn't know existed. Today, I'm excited to share with you a new game concept based on a forgotten story. The tale of Palestine, our beautiful culture and endless struggles. It's called Dreams on a Pillow. We don't want our audience to simply watch the story unfold. Instead, we want them to experience the vast emotions, the loss and the trauma the Palestinians had to suffer, the resilience of the Palestinian people since 1948. Many publishers turned us down because of the story we are telling. So, we are turning to you. With your help and support, we can bring this story to life and make sure the world understands the root cause of what's happening today while honoring the beauty of Palestine and the ongoing struggle of its people. Thank you.
So Rashid, inside of that trailer, we saw some very, very poignant images from the game that you're currently crowdfunding right now. You are a Palestinian game developer and have been for the last decade or so. Talk to us a little bit more about your decision to make this project.
So this project was in my head like from years, and I tried many times to do it, but I couldn't do it by myself. I have no capacity to fund this project. It's kind of a huge project and want like a big budget to do. I abandoned actually this idea many times. I tried to do it many times. I failed. But when the war or the attacks started in Gaza, and we've seen this genocide, and we've seen how the mainstream media is talking about the Palestinian story, I felt that I have the responsibility to do this game because it's talking about the root cause of what's happening today in Palestine. It's talking about the Nakba and the day where all of the Palestinians will have to forcibly displaced from their homes and from their land to go somewhere else to live as refugees.
I also understand that you did a previous project specifically called Liyla and the Shadow of War. How did that game serve as inspiration for this project?
So Liyla and the Shadows of War was the first game I make to share experience about like the personal story we live here in Palestine and about the struggle that we face on daily basis. It was about the attacks on Gaza again in 2014. This was 10 years ago, and this game is still relevant to this day. That game was my first try to share emotions and to share an experience through games. The feedback that I got from that game was mind-blowing for me. I've seen the power of games through that game. When I decided to make it, I know that games can touch many souls, but I didn't expect that much adoption for it and the appreciation of that game. That game was amazing. It was displayed in exhibitions and museums. It got many awards. It has like almost 2 million downloads. Even it is like 20 minutes of gameplay, but it was very emotional and has a great impact on the players. I did it before, and I have all of that knowledge that I can bring through game and an emotional experience because I did it before and I've seen the impact. So I can imagine how Dreams on a Pillow can impact the players.
Obviously, Palestine has been inside of the news, especially inside of American news outlets, very consistently with the Israeli attacks on Palestinian people. You currently live inside of the West Bank. What is your day-to-day like developing this project inside of the West Bank?
So in general, the daily life here in West Bank is crazy. So we're living almost like in a prison because like the freedom of movement is not available here. For example, I had to go yesterday from Nablus to Ramallah. I had to go through almost 8 checkpoints and seeing all of these settlements and settlers around the Palestinian cities. And they attack the Palestinians on a very regular basis. They attack Palestinians on the roads and their farms. It's kind of a crazy situation that we are living here. We feel that they always on top of our shoulder. They are monitoring us in every way. They're controlling everything. They're controlling the roads, the electricity, water. All aspects of our life are under their control. But these struggles makes us stronger, so we fight against that.
This powerful story that you're currently telling inside of Dreams of the Pillow takes us to a place called Nakba, where we're able to see more about the protagonist's story. Tell us a little bit more about this place and why it was so important to have it take place inside of Nakba.
So the Nakba is the event that happened in 1948. When the Zionist gangs and groups attacked many villages during that year, and they forcibly displaced all of these people from their villages through different countries. So more than 500 villages were destroyed, and many massacres were committed at that time. And the Nakba itself is known, like it's the word itself meaning a catastrophe. It's the catastrophe in the Palestinian history where all of these Zionist gangs attacking the main cities and the villages and committing all of these massacres so they get rid of these Palestinians. And at that time, more than 700,000 Palestinians were displaced from their homes to live as refugees in different countries.
You spoke earlier inside of this interview itself talking about how difficult it is to get publishing money, get money to basically fund this project. And so you've actually moved onto a crowdfunding source called LaunchGood. Typically, when we hear about projects being crowdfunded, we hear about Indiegogo or Kickstarter. Was there any socioeconomic or political discourse that required you to actually use this platform as opposed to other things like Indiegogo or Kickstarter?
Maybe 13 years ago, I realized that I couldn't make a career or a profession in the gaming industry in Palestine. So I abandoned thinking about making a living out of games. This is why when I made Liyla and the Shadows of War, it was without funding. We only worked with volunteers in that game to develop it and to get it released, actually. And this is why I struggled a lot with this game. From like 2017, I wanted to make it. I realized that it's almost impossible for me to live here in Palestine and to fund games, even if it is commercial. So add on top of that I'm talking about the Nakba, which is a story that is almost like a hidden story, and no one wants to tell the events that happened. So it was like a mission impossible for me. But when I've seen what's happening on social media and on mainstream media, and we've seen the shift in the narrative from the people, I decided to go again and to try with it. And regarding the crowdfunding itself, because Kickstarter And Indiegogo simply does not recognize Palestine because, like many countries, did not recognize Palestine as a state. LaunchGood, on the contrary, it's based and built to serve projects in the Middle East. I don't think I have a chance without LaunchGood to crowdfund this project.
So my final question here, Rashid, actually has to do with your just general outlook right now in the game industry. It's been a tough time, overwhelmingly inside of the industry, and especially for people inside of Palestine right now with the war raging on incessantly. Do you have anything that you'd like to send out as words of inspiration or to the community in general to kind of provide something for people to move forward with?
I've seen so many incredible things that's happening in this community. It's like, for me, from the first time that I released Liyla and it was banned by the App Store for having a political content, and all of the support that I got from that day, the amount of support and the appreciation of this project, it gives me hope that even though there's many difficulties in the gaming industry, but there is a chance that you can do something that it's actually meaningful for others.
Thank you, Rashid, so much for taking time to tell your personal story and talk to us more about Dreams on a Pillow. When I say that the work that you are doing is instrumental right now to the entirety of Palestine, I truly mean that. And just heart to heart, me personally, I appreciate you telling these stories and going out of your way to make sure that knowledge is shared. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Shari. Thank you for having me.
Everybody, that's going to do it for this developer interview, very special courtesy of Game Devs of Color Expo. I'd like to encourage everyone watching this interview right now to go check out Dreams of a Pillow's crowdfund on LaunchGood right now. Link is currently below me. But if you'd like to keep up with this specific developer, you can follow him on Twitter or Blue Sky. Though I have to recommend the best way to support this project is by a donation through LaunchGood. We'll see you when we see you, and as always, remember, play games you love.